I'm not going out anymore after this. So if they need something, they better tell me while I'm out, because your boy's about to start drinking and drinking like he's not gonna be around tomorrow. So I ain't gonna lie, having to run errands and then have your car drive you to the places that you need to be, it really isn't that much of a drag. And then, oh, there's a puppy in the road. Oh, it's a possum. Looked like a puppy. It was a possum. And when you're talking about puppies and rodents, I guess you get a different feel. I don't want to see anything die, but just grateful it wasn't a puppy or some type of domesticated non-rodent creature. Anyway, yeah. So last night gave a ride to my nephew. I fully expect to be in the passenger seat when I give these rides. That's why it's okay for me to be inebriated and drinking. And even then, I'm not gonna go so hard in the paint until much later into the evening. So we still got to be responsible. I think we're in the Model X. I think this was the easiest vehicle to get out of the driveway at the moment. So yeah, here we are, Christmas Day on the road again. And unless we're giving out FSD rides, it's the last bit of errands for the party I plan to run. Got a Tesla behind us. It doesn't have a forward license plate, which it's an older model, so maybe it's a used Tesla that is behind us right now. Someone recently purchased a used Tesla, is what it feels like, since there is a placeholder for the license plate, yet no license plate there. Well, it's all speculation. It's got the silver trim, which my Stygian point, original Stygian had the silver lining, so to speak. And that silver trim will always have a nostalgic place in my heart. So it's always good to see these older Model 3s and S's, X's, all the ones that had the silver trim. They're easily identifiable, and if I were to get an AI3 car, it would have to have that silver trim for that nostalgia. But we're all about that AI4 life. I think AI3 will catch up, but I don't want to wait that long. I want to experience it now. I need to experience now, so when the market's open in the morning, I have the utmost confidence that I know where I'm putting my money. And I expect it to multiply like rabbits in spring. So that's just me. I don't know. Not financial advice. I'm just doing what I believe to be the best use of my capital. So I think next holiday season I will be handing out more Tesla gift cards than I'm probably just gonna $1,000, $2,000 worth of Tesla gift cards and spread that amongst friends and family that I desperately want to see inside Teslas. That is, to me, the best gift I could possibly give someone. So those will be my gifts for next year, more than likely. And quite frankly, birthday gifts. I'm more than likely going to start just buying Tesla gift cards so that they get the hint. Diesel at this particular Shell station is about $3. Regular $2.59. I mean, I try to keep track of the gas prices. My buddy says that the higher gas prices are, the easier the transition to battery electric vehicles. And to some degree, he is correct, right? A lot of people are focused on the immediate, right? But they miss the forest for the trees. When all I see when I see these internal combustion engines, this horse carriage, like there's just a better way. That's basically all I can think of. But, you know, it's going to take time. I just can plant the seed and hope to reap that reward later. I love seeing Teslas. Like, it brings me so much joy to see beautiful Teslas. That's a silver trim red Tesla. It looked brand spanking new too. So I don't know. I get more joy than I care to explain when I see the vehicle adoption here in the great city of Houston, the greater Southeast Texas area. All right, what we got going on? I think we're about to come up here on a right at this next light. This will be the last day of Santa mode for me, ladies and gentlemen. The absolute last day of Santa mode. All right. Came to a complete stop, made our right turn. Let's see. I doubt any liquor stores are open. I might need to pick up some more of that hard iced tea, lemonade. I'll probably pick up one more case of that, even though I truly, it's the Christmas spirit. So I gotta make sure anybody that visits my house has a chance to be merry if they so choose. So plenty of food, plenty of drink. We just got through inviting the neighbors. All right, so we got parked cars here on the right. Our AI student driver knows it needs to get over. Does it quite seamlessly. We are still in the standard setting, moving right along. The speed limit is 30. So I would prefer that we were a little bit less speedy in this area. So to me, that's a knock. If it's standard, I want to be barely over, you know, keep within that 5 mile an hour threshold with the speed limit. I think there's some settings in here that I can manipulate, but I try to keep it on the recommended stuff, right? I don't want to go in there and change something and fundamentally change the way this thing drives. I want it on the recommended settings, but I think the recommended settings should be no more on standard, should be no more than 8 miles an hour over the speed limit. And it probably was in that realm, in that range. I'm just being nitpicky. This thing is driving, I mean, you look at the vehicles around, that car's going 50 for sure. So it's hard to gauge it. Just trying to keep up with the flow of traffic. I just don't want to be singled out by one of the boys in blue and have to explain my vehicle thought it was an okay speed to travel. Either way, that's neither here nor there. I'm still in control. I don't have to go that fast. I can easily slow down. I can use the scroll wheel. I just wanted to get to a point where it is second nature, right? Plus, that's moderately a school zone on this street. So obviously, school's out. It's Christmas. Not that big a deal. And right now, it's traveling 45 miles an hour, doing exactly what I expect it to do. So the speed limits changing on this street might have some kind of impact on the natural speed limit for the vehicle, which is, you know, very human-like. I know there's very frequent speed traps between here and, say, Dallas, right? And you travel through these small towns, it's 55, then it turns into 35, then it turns into 45, then it turns into 65. It's an unnecessary, you know, delineation of speed. Like, you're like, why? Why can't we just find the median speed for these zones in this 5 mile radius? What is the median speed we should be traveling? And set that, right? These speed traps, you know, and you get caught in like a mile of it's 35 here until over there at that bridge. Well, thanks, officer. I appreciate you being so astute. Just little things like that. It's unnecessary for our AI student driver to have to figure these. This is just unnecessary. But I'm on a soapbox. I'll get off it. Once we reach the tipping point of more than 40% of the vehicles on the road are autonomous, we're going to start seeing legislation change, and then the push for all vehicles to be autonomous will reach a crescendo. We won't have to worry about these insignificant laws of today. In a future that is not so distant. Alright, like I said, it's not very far. I think after this stop light, we should reach the shopping district where this delicious peach cobbler that my mom desperately craves is located. Nissan, Lexus, Honda. Looks like antiques to me. All of these look like antiques to me. Oh yeah, we've got the football games that should be going on right now. As a matter of fact, I want to say Kansas City and Pittsburgh start, if not right now, very soon. And I know the Texans and Ravens play today at 3:30. We're watching as many Christmas movies as we possibly can. I think Die Hard's about to go off right now at my house. Friday after next is probably what's on the schedule before the Texans game, and then we're watching the Texans. I should watch the Chiefs. It'll be playing in one of the TVs in our house, but oh wow, this entire shopping district is down. There is no cobbler. There is no cobbler. As there shouldn't be. I should have got this yesterday. Kind of parked it properly. Oh, that's not a real good park job. Some things we got to monitor here. All right, so I don't even know if I should film this now that we're not at our destination. I'll keep it filming. Yeah, I think we're going home. This is a sign. This is a sign that I shouldn't be on the road without other people. So let's head back. Take me to my home. We had a pretty big storm last night as well. I'm not surprised if maybe this shopping district was impacted by it, and no point in being open on Christmas Day. But something tells me last year the shop was open on Christmas Day. Maybe they didn't want to foot the bill for the employees, or just hard to expect people to really want to work on Christmas Day. I remember when I was younger, working at Blockbuster and stuff like that. Would love to work the holidays, get that time and a half, that double time. Man, just aged myself with the Blockbuster reference. That's how I kind of look at this transition, as I see two Silverados in front of me, this Denali to my left. I look at them like Blockbuster, GM, Ford, and Stellantis. They are, staples. They are American staples until they're not, right? Working at Blockbuster is one of the most popular places for people to go on the weekend. You You could see anybody, rich, poor, everybody was at Blockbuster and communing and looking for movies so that they can, you know, have a good night in. And then Netflix comes along and crushes everything that they stand for. You know, the entire business model is flipped on its head. And obviously Blockbuster realized that their business model was dying, but it was still making them so much money until it wasn't. And then they tried to mail the DVDs. Then they tried, you know, as an employee, I was like, mail it? What the fuck? You know, because I'm used to things the way they are. You need to come in. Please be kind. Rewind. You know what I mean? Now, you know, you got this new way of doing things that is indeed much easier for the consumer, but for the industry as a whole, for the tradition of it all, was topsy-turvy. So that's what Tesla's doing with, you know, transportation. My car is driving me from point A to point B, and then from point B to point C, and from point C to point A without any hitch in that giddy up. So you look at everybody else driving manually, you know, making mistakes, being distracted, being tired, being inebriated, you know, all these things while trying to do the complex task of driving. And we allow it because it's the only thing that, you know, we permit 40,000 deaths on U.S. highways because we accept human error in the equation. If we remove the human element, those deaths, you know, I'm not saying there will be no deaths, but that number of deaths will be systematically, statistically, just insignificant compared to what it is today. Not to mention you get your energy back, you get your time back when everything is feature complete. You're able to do some unsupervised drives in certain locations and then eventually everywhere. You're looking at an entirely different business model for Ford, GM, Stellantis, and any other legacy auto manufacturers. They can see it, but they're making so much money with their current lineups and the way things are right now. They don't want to change. Not to the way that it would be necessary for them to survive in the next decade. So they're making their money until they don't, right? I see more and more Teslas on the road. And if they're anything like me, they're not going back to the horse and carriage. That's just not the way things are finna work, right? The more and more people experience these FSD free trials on version 13, they're not gonna wanna go back to driving, let alone go back to an internal combustion engine. Now, we've got some congestion here with the cars being parked on the side of the road, cars trying to make, you know, U-turns or whatever, and our AI student driver handles this absolutely perfect. There is no hesitation. It's doing the right things, exactly what I would be doing, better than me, with more precision, more accuracy. It can see more than I ever could, right? This is the way. I don't want to sound like the Mandalorian, but this is the way. And for those that aren't on board, they're going to get left in the dust. And it's unfortunate. I can't wait for Ford or GM to be like, yeah, we're going to do an ad hoc, put the Tesla FSD software suite on our vehicles starting in 2027, 2028, and we will be licensing the software. And, you know, I don't know, it'd probably be hard to do this without being in the Tesla app, but if all you're doing is producing cars and trying to make money off of the feature set of FSD, obviously that's not ideal, but neither is extinction. So the first company that chooses to license FSD and then breakneck speeds toward it, I'll have a greater understanding on whether or not they're going to survive the decade. But the time is now. You want to get ahead of this thing before before you go the way of Blockbuster. Get ahead of this thing. Streaming. Jeez. Netflix went from mailing DVDs to streaming before Blockbuster could even start mailing DVDs. You know what I mean? This is insane. The pace of innovation, and if you're not ready to disrupt yourself, you're going to get left behind as well. So Tesla, so many examples of Tesla disrupting themselves midstream, right? You know, you got the giga presses. You know, the way they built cars, there was some, you know, there's some black eyes. You know, they were just learning how to be a car company, manufacturing vehicles at a clip of 1 million, right? And there were some build issues, but they weren't content with what they were producing. They wanted to improve it constantly. These giga presses, now with the unbox method, you got other companies trying to giga press their way through this after Tesla's been doing it for so long, dominating the industry when it comes to cost. Tesla's like, nah, that's old, bruh. We're doing this unbox method now. You ain't heard? You ain't heard? Well, you're about to find out. And they're gonna just start crushing the competition manufacturing with the manufacturing prowess that hasn't been seen since a century ago. So, and then on top of that, they're gonna be like, your car, you still have to drive your car manually? Oof. How do you call this competition? How could you call the Tahoe, the fucking Ford F1, how can you call this competition when you still have to drive it manually? When you still have the risk of being distracted and causing harm to someone else? It's ridiculous just to even think of it as competition. Now we got this truck in front of us trying to go left. It looks like we're going to be patient with them. That's fine. There's plenty of cars on the right. I didn't expect us to whiz through that. So our AI student driver handles that pretty well. And just got on another soapbox, but it's tough for me to look at these guys as competition. They're trying to survive, while they've got the breathing room to evolve beyond a scale that is just laughable when you think about, well, the competition is coming. Sure, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, my sister was talking about, well, in China they're doing, it's like, yeah, they're not like us. You know, I have to hit her with that Kendrick Lamar, but they not like us. They get a hold of the Cybertruck, and those BYD engineers are trying to reverse engineer it as fast as they can. You know what I mean? Just to see the process. Long story short, these other car companies, they not like us. They not like us. And that's fine. Tesla can't build every single vehicle the world needs by 2030. It's no way. We're going to need other auto manufacturers to build these vehicles that people are willing to buy, right? They still need to be good enough for people to buy them, and they all need to be autonomous or have some version of autonomy that's going to make a dent in the deaths that we see on U.S. highways and beyond. So that's the real story here, and I can't wait for these other auto manufacturers to figure out the licensing that's necessary, because I get it. You license FSD, but you know, if they want to use some of these features, they need the Tesla app. That might be a no-go, because why do all of that? You could just buy a Tesla vehicle and not have to go through these extra hoops for the software, which is, in my eyes, a go or no-go. If you don't have this software, if I can't just sit here and watch the car drive itself, whether it be from the driver's seat or the back seat, I'm not buying your vehicle. That is the way it is right now. And I assume there will be many, many more that fall in that camp. So, all right, this was a failed attempt my mom's gonna be pretty disappointed, and I probably should have got this stuff yesterday. So I think I'm gonna go and no, I'm not buying any more liquor. If they want drink, they better drink what's here. We'll go get it later, maybe. I think we're going back. All right, that's all I got for you today. Be easy. Peace.